One that day. I had to go over to Northfield. Outside her car and was named.
Exactly.
Saturday.
It was a year ago.
She was
Today, February 11th was.
engaged.
My first president.
And they still connected. For 2 weeks, they disconnected because we put in an order.
Oh, I remember that.
They hadn't connected.
I've been thinking we need a lot.
And I said, this is too much. We wanted to have.
Well, she took a few days off. We celebrated her first. So that's probably why you didn't see it.
Thank you very much. And 10 minutes later,
It's like,
someone coming up and it was not in the house. And they couldn't sell it.
fundraising.
You know, they've got a script. For the stage, or go to what's called provisions.
On the ballot.
So I have my phone.
Big buttons.
I was
Are those for the, what are your buttons?
Show your stripes.
Is it for,
Guess who we're here supporting?
think I can get?
Scar tissue. For my appendix. I'm excited to see a full house up at your table there. 10 years.
Yeah, everybody is here tonight.
No illnesses currently in this moment.
I do not think on, yeah. Who are you striking?
Yeah. I'm glad you does. I'm on the man.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, the ambulance Saturday.
For sure.
My blood pressure was down 83 over 40.
They could take one out for you if you give
Not
them
good.
that
Severe gastrointestinal flu.
Yeah,
Biggest fear.
I know, yeah. There's.
Just a reminder. Then I'll go looking for that email. I got 2 or 3. They've used the word right.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot.
So did you bring?
I think that even with longer days.
Yeah.
Did you bring your?
Just cram in more features.
Is that yours? Is that the one I got you? Oh, then that's when there's all my, I couldn't remember. So I brought it in.
Joe, you have your cheat sheet? Yes, you do.
I do.
Yeah.
You can do it.
I did check. Oh, so I can check. But I can't hear.
You see that?
Yeah. Yeah, the whole, whoa, that's great. And we can just turn it. The legs look like, yeah, there's still some, I think we, or we need to, like, one that points towards us, towards the audience. Yeah. Yeah.
What was it, 3 years?
They're women something.
Volume, Mary.
There.
Oh, that's lovely.
John's, it's John's.
There we go.
That was right.
It's still going though.
Microphones are on.
You have to turn off your mic. So wherever it says there.
Look at there, it's still going.
Yeah, just.
Isolate your mics.
Oh,
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's not worth it.
Thank you.
Everybody awake?
Enter the nails on.
All right, being it's 1900, hey Mary, welcome, get settled. Turn off your mics, folks, give us some feedback. There. Shuts that down.
Are you also muted on it? Is that those Chromebooks? You got the little dragon sitting on, so you're. Why am I so? The John's not even in the meeting. How do you know?
Seems like they hear it.
See that red line through my mind?
Not enough that it just said it on the thing there, that's just on the other thing too.
Alright. Being 1900 and as we go through our new technology, we'll call let's see, agenda goes like this. All right, first off, we're gonna have a roll call. Everybody's here. Please, folks, as you leave the meeting, make sure that you sign in so you can be covered on the roll call. We are going to have a public hearing on town meeting. As we all are aware, town meeting has been canceled and everything, whether it's money or any other topic is going to be discussed on Australian ballot, decided by Australian ballot, which means you get to vote all day long. We are required to go through the hearing the purpose of the hearing is to go through the special articles that have been warned for to be voted on, and they are as follows. First off, we have an election of officers, which is just to read it, to elect all requisite officers, town moderator 1 year, select board member 3 years, select board member 2 years, lister 3 years, lister 2 year, remainder of the 3-year seat. Trustees of the Brown Public Library 3 years, trustees of the Brown Public Library 3 year seat. Water and wastewater commissioners 3 year seat, and electric utility commissioners 3 year seat, and that is going to be on the ballot. Also on the ballot will be the following articles 2 through 23, and they will be just like any other ballot. You check yea or nay. So the first one to be discussed is shall the voters authorize the total fund expenditures of $7,011,800, of which $4,637,270 shall be raised by property taxes and $2,374,530 by non-tax revenue. Is there any discussion on Article 2? Hearing none. Any board members? Members from Dave, you're closest to the TV, so if you see something pop up,
Yep.
let me know. I don't see anything. Article 3, shall the voters of Northfield authorize the town to exempt from local property taxation to the extent of 50% of the appraised value of the land and premises of Mayo Healthcare Incorporated located at 71 Richardson Avenue for a period of 3 years beginning 1 July 26. Is someone from the Mayo here to discuss that? Online? Is there any discussion? And we do have discussion in the back. Please identify, state your name.
Hi, Teresa Elmer. And I'm questioning why they're being, as a profitable business, why they are being exempt with partial property taxes for 3 years.
That would be nice if they were here to explain that. It has been a policy or a voter approved process for 20 years.
So,
And they're a 501(c), so, but yeah, so, without them being here exactly to answer your question, they have requested it, we put it on for, warning for the, voters to participate.
so they. So, all business.
What the process is, and Dave, correct me if I'm mistaken, they, through the years, the decades, they have, had a petition filled out for the purpose of doing that, and other, build facility. Or the Mason Sonic Lodge was one of them. So they had a petition, and after, I think it was 3 approved petitions, then all they have to do is send a letter of intent and, for time and, amount of time. You get a letter in, about from mail?
We got a lot of requests, yes.
Back in December, I think.
What?
It was in your packets back in December.
Right, and I didn't bring it with me.
And how much money are we talking as the taxpayer is going to offset their tax bill?
Nice about having someone represent them from the facility, because I have not got that.
So we're just writing, if it passes, it's a blank check. Because
It's 50, it's not a blank check, but it'll be 50% of, as it reads in the article, it'll be 50%.
They have 8 individuals, and as a taxpayer, I'd like to know how much.
So my suggestion for you would be to reach out to them directly. And it's, obviously it's up to you to vote yay or nay.
Right.
And that's the big thing. And I proposed in years past that we give the voters a dollar value of what we're approving. It didn't hold, it didn't catch rubber this time around. I think it would be beneficial for everyone to know how much we actually are approving, but.
What the impact is going to be would be nice to know, and normally we would have a representative from mail, and I do not see that.
And it is a non-for-profit business. I'm not quite sure if it's a 501(c)(3) or
C3.
C3.
It is.
It is, okay.
Do you know how much we gave them last year?
Similar amounts.
Somebody find them
Okay.
last year.
It's roughly 50%, and we don't have those numbers. I kind of expected, as I would be beating myself now, that they were here to present themselves.
It would be good for you to reach out. I think it would be good for them to know that somebody asked about these questions and they were not here to answer them.
But it would be good for all the taxpayers to know.
Sure,
how much we're-
absolutely. You're doing a service. You're doing a service. Absolutely.
Is there anybody else? Good point. Shall the voters, let's see, voters authorize the expenditure of amount not to exceed $21,000 for the fiscal year 27 towards Northfield commuter year-round commuter with service between Northfield and Montpelier. Is there anybody from the Green Mountain Transit that can speak to this?
Hi there. I'm Monica White, Director of Central Vermont Services for Green Mountain Transit.
Welcome, Monica.
Great. Well, thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. Sorry I couldn't be there in person, double booked with another meeting. And in recognition that you have a very jam-packed agenda, I will try to be crisp, but I would like to provide an overview of both the prior year as well as a look ahead for public transit services here in Washington County and for Northfield in particular. So first, I'll start with what's ahead. Kind of big news on the public transit front for Central Vermont. On July 1st, 2026, just in a few short months, we will, instead of being under the umbrella of Green Mountain Transit, Central Vermont Public Transit Services will come under the umbrella of Tri-Valley Transit, a neighboring public transit agency. Our same Berlin-based team will be operating our services here, but TVT has decades of experience successfully delivering rural public transit across Addison County and Orange County and North Windsor County. This transition will allow for Green Mountain Transit to focus solely on its Chittenden County urban book of business, and will strengthen our ability here in Central Vermont and Washington County to focus specifically on Washington County's needs. Again, the same team here in Berlin will be delivering our services, and no service reductions are planned, and our funding request for FY27 is level funded from prior years. Tri-Valley Transit has already, even in advance of the transfer, has stepped in to focus on investing in Washington County service. They've helped to leverage grant funding to hire a Washington County volunteer coordinator, and that position is focused on recruiting, retaining volunteer community drivers as the lowest cost method of providing non-fixed route transportation options. TVT has also hired a Washington County Community Relations Manager position, who will join us here next month, giving us more bandwidth for making deeper connections with local businesses and municipalities, and will enable us to be more responsive and agile for our communities, determining what our communities needs and want for services, and funding sustainability across the board. Looking to ridership data for FY25, which is the most recently concluded fiscal year, for Northfield specifically, we welcomed 3,445 riders aboard our Northfield commuter route, which operates 5 round trips daily between Northfield and Montpelier, Monday through Friday. And we also transported 212 folks on our weekly Northfield community shuttle service that brings people from to the Berlin Mall and back from the Northfield area every Wednesday. Northfield residents also access other bus routes by connecting to the routes to include the Montpelier-Burlington Link, Montpelier Hospital Hill, Montpelier MyRide Microtransit, Montpelier Berry City Commuter, US 2 Commuter, and Waterbury Commuter. In addition to our fixed route service, we provided 894 rides for Northfield residents to access non-emergency medical care, food, and medication for those who are older and disabled, and or who have Medicaid with no other transportation options. Over the past year, I've had several meetings regarding Northfield services specifically, including a site visit to a proposed relocation of the bus kiosk. And recently we were asked to provide transportation for a Northfield Senior Center event next month. In December, there was a great publication in the Northfield News about our services for public transit that our volunteer coordinator, our new position, was interviewed for. And in conclusion, we really, really appreciate the town of Northfield being such a strong supporter of public transit. We look forward to another great year ahead, and I'm happy to answer any questions that folks might have.
Thank you, Monica. Dave?
I'm all set.
Lydia? John?
The fare for the Northfield commuter.
How much is the fare for the Northfield commuter?
Fare free. So that is, I maybe should have let up with that.
Okay. Free ride. Mary?
I was a bus commuter for about 10 years before I retired, and I think it's great. Especially when it's snowing.
I echo, I'm a fan of public transportation. From the audience, is there anybody from the audience, please?
You mentioned an event coming up in March, and it's the Cabin Fever Block Party. Approximately how many seats are on your buses that we know how many people can possibly ride?
I'm sorry, the audio quality, I'm having a hard time. So if somebody could relay that question, I would appreciate it.
She asked how many seats are on the bus planned to provide for the event at the Northfield Senior Center next month.
Oh, okay. How many seats are on the bus? depending on which bus we send out, there's seating capacity, could be seating capacity for about 20, depending on which specific bus that goes out. So
There you go, 20. Thank you.
Are there any other
Sure.
questions? Online, are there any input questions? Hearing none. Thank you very much, Monica.
Thank you, Monica.
great, thank you. Have a great night.
Welcome. Article 5, shall the voters authorize the expenditure of $14,800 for the Central Vermont Home Health and Hospice? Is anybody from Central Vermont Home Health and Hospice speak to this?
Hi, I'm Jenny Montaigne, and I'm the Marketing and Communications Manager at Central Vermont Home Health and Hospice. First, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to speak and for Northfield's past approval of our town funding requests. We have a super supportive community and have historically received approval for our funding requests from all of the towns in our service area, including Northfield. So again, thank you very much for your support. This year we are requesting 14,000.
The dryer.
Oh, can you guys hear me?
And somebody else needed to book to
Mute.
that's the word.
Thank you, Lily.
Oh, okay. This year we are requesting $14,800, which has been a level request since 2023. And we use the same formula that takes into account patient volume and town population across all of the 23 communities that we serve in Central Vermont to develop our ask. And in 2025, we made more than 3,500 visits to 204 residents in Northfield. The reason we ask for this funding is because it helps us make up the difference in the value of the care that we provide to Central Vermonters for home health services and what we are reimbursed by Medicare and Medicaid. Medicare has systematically cut reimbursements for home health services over the past 10 years, and CVHHH provides care to all eligible Central Vermonters regardless of their ability to pay. So for these reasons, we rely on town funding to help us make up an annual gap in our operating revenue. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Good. Lydia? John? Good. Mary?
I'm good, and I'm very happy we have them in our community.
I get to interact with home health and hospice frequently, and they are a welcome entity into Northfield. Does anybody from the audience have anything to say? Any questions? And virtually? Hearing none. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Article 6, shall the voters authorize the expenditure of $3,000 for the Central Vermont Council on Aging? Is there a guest here to speak to the Central Vermont Council on Aging?
Is there anybody out there?
I do not see anybody.
No.
Going once, going twice. Carolyn?
Just a comment. I had a friend who needed help with Medicare and Medicare supplement insurance. And they came and spoke with her in her home, was enormously helpful. Saved her probably many thousands of dollars and much hard work. They also do the tax return prep assistance.
Services that they do at the senior center, I presume.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. All right, Article 7, shall the voters authorize the expenditure of $3,000 for the Northfield Community Flag Project? Do we have someone from the Northfield Community Flag Project? Audience? Nobody. Article 8, shall the voters
Hold on,
authorize?
there is somebody has their hand up, Charlie.
I think it's just the cursor.
Oh, okay, it
There's
is the
nothing
cursor,
yeah.
Okay,
Shall the voters authorize expenditure of $2,800 for the Good Samaritan Haven. Is there a guest that would like to speak to the Good Samaritan Haven? We do not have any participation. Article 9. Shall the voters authorize the expenditure of $2,500 for the Washington County Mental Health Services Incorporated? Article 9, do we have a representative from the Washington County Mental Health? Article 10, shall the voters authorize the expenditure of $1,200 for the Central Vermont Education? Is someone from Central Vermont Adult Education here? Article 11, shall the voters authorize the expenditure of $1,200 for the Mosaic Vermont, formerly Sexual Assault Crisis Team of Washington County? Is Mosaic Vermont here?
Hi,
Hi, welcome.
actually in the room.
Thanks, you're in
Where you want
person.
me?
Right up here.
Go right up to the podium.
Hi, everyone. I'm Beth Combar, I'm the chair for Mosaic Vermont, and we provide sexual violence prevention and education and support services through all of Washington County. This year we provided some really vital services at Northfield High School, and for admin and staff that were there. We've served over 2,000 people last year in our community, and we need your community support so we can keep providing our community support. A lot of our prevention and broad-based community support work isn't funded by any grant, so we really rely on your support. Thank you.
What is your, I didn't get your name.
Beth Plumbar.
Thank you, Beth. Is there any questions from the board?
I'm good.
I'm fine.
Do you do victim services?
Yes, yeah. Over 2,000 people were supported having experiences of sexual harm last year in the Washington County area. 58 of those were children. 200 of them had experienced extreme violence. We do sexual assault nurse exams in the hospital, direct advocacy. We support survivors connecting with long-term supports as well as housing and healthcare, and all sorts of other victim advocacy services.
And do you have the volunteers? Do you need volunteers?
We can always use volunteers,
What
yeah.
do they do?
Well, board members are always welcome. Boards play important roles. And we also host a number of public events throughout the year. We have one coming up, Survivors Artists exhibit on April 10th at the Phoenix in Waterbury. And we have the March to End Violence happening in April. And volunteers are always useful for those events. You can reach Mosaic at mosaic-bt.com, no, .org, online.
.org, yeah.
.org, yeah.
Okay.
And and you make a great presentation at the farmer's market in Northfield when you come down there. It's very professional. It's nice.
Yeah, Morgan does that. I will pass that on to her. She's great.
All right. Are there any questions from the audience? Is there any virtual questions? Thank you, Beth, for coming down and being here in person.
Yeah, thank you.
Article 12, shall the voters authorize the expenditure of $1,200 for the Vermont Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired? Do we have a representative from the Vermont Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired? Hearing none. Article 13, shall the voters authorize the expenditures of $1,000 to Capstone Community Action Incorporated? Is there a representative from Capstone?
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. Hi, I am Casey Engels. I am a development associate with Capstone. I also spent 4 years working through Vermont or the COVID pandemic and floods as a special projects manager. So I'm here instead of Yvonne Laurie tonight. For folks who are, first of all, thank you for having us. I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person. I live in Winooski and I have been in many different towns today, so I couldn't quite make it out there, but I wish I could. So CAP agencies were started in 1964. The mission is essentially promoting self-sufficiency. We are one of 1,000 nationally and one of 5 of the CAP agencies or community action agencies in the state of Vermont. We are primarily funded with what's called CSBG, or totally blanking on what it's called right now. core, basically block grant from the federal government. And so it is a combination of that, federal supports, state supports, foundations, and donors who support us. We're asking or seeking level funding of $1,000 from Northfield. And I think what's most important, you have the report to the citizens, but I think it's important to point out we work in Lamoille, Orange, and Washington counties, but also 9 additional communities to that. This past year in 2025, we served 10,117 people in Vermont. And of that, there were 227 Northfield households, a part of that service, representing 404 individuals. So quite a few folks. Our services are in kind of buckets of food and nutrition, housing support, heat and utility support, children and families, so Head Start programs, things like that. And money management, we do a lot of financial education and workshops, which we currently have going on right now, and home weatherization projects. I think the most important things to point out for folks are some of the details from Northfield's data. So this is pertinent, especially tonight as we are posting about cold weather facilities. We did open a low barrier shelter in Montpelier, which is available to residents of Northfield. But on nights like tonight, that's going to be incredibly important for people. However, 31 households with 84 family members were able to keep heating their homes with help from our crisis and supplemental fuel programs this past year. 2 homeless individuals of Northfield who worked with housing counselors were able to find and retain safe housing, affordable safe housing. 114 individuals access nutritional meals or meal equivalents from our food shelf, and 10 households in Northfield were weatherized at no charge, which just essentially makes them warmer and more energy efficient. But that was for 18 residents, including 7 seniors and 2 residents with disabilities. So I think, there's a lot of data there, there's a lot of information, but I think that those data points specifically sort of speak to why we're continuing to seek funding with Northfield. And we also partner with a few local businesses, local farms, to offer local food from the area at our food bank. So some of the meals that people received were roasted chickens from Union Brook Farm, which I think is a nice little added full circle. And if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them, or I will come back to you if I don't have the answer. I'd be happy to seek it out. Thank you so much.
I really appreciate the data. It's nice to hear the
It is, and the data is in the town report.
There's more than what I mentioned.
John, anything else, Mary?
No, glad to hear about Northfield's, the impact in Northfield.
We're so grateful to be a part of the community. Thank you.
The audience? Or from the land of virtual? Thank you, Casey. Article 14, shall the voters authorize the expenditure of $1,000 for Circle? Is there someone from Circle here? Circle is, as Dave mentioned, all of the folks, with the exception of Mayo, are in the town report. And Circle has a shelter in addition to for sexual crisis. Domestic crisis.
Domestic
Thank you.
assault.
And we have nobody showing up. Okay. Article 15, shall the voters authorize the expenditure of $1,000 for Good Beginnings of Central Vermont? Is there anybody from Good Beginnings? So the voters, Article 16, shall the voters authorize the expenditures of $1,000 for the Vermont Center of Independent Living? Is anyone representing those independent living folks? Okay. Article 17, shall the voters authorize the expenditure of $800 for Family Center of Washington County? Is there anybody representing that organization? Hearing none. Article 18, shall the voters authorize the expenditure of $600 for Elevate Youth Services, formerly the Washington County Youth Service Bureau Boys and Girls Club? Is there anybody from well, it used to be the Boys and Girls Club, now it's the Elevate Youth Services. Okay, Article 19, shall the voters, am I doing that right? Yes. Article 19, shall the voters authorize the expenditure of $400 for the community harvest of Central Vermont? Yes.
Howdy.
Welcome, Nancy, back.
Thank you. I'm Nancy Peck. I'm a volunteer with the Community Harvest. Community Harvest gleans food from farms and various producers who bring food to us sometimes. We get gleaned over 96,000 pounds of food this year. 474,753, got your disease. Went to the senior center, which was free food to the senior center. It's for anybody to pick up. It's not, you don't have to be qualified to get it. Just come in and get it. We've had all sorts of great food. Many people can attest to having gone and seen that and experienced it. We have 1,000 pounds of food that went to the school districts. So those were the cafeterias. 787 pounds went to the vet's place. And that was only a partial year because they only got involved with us in the middle of the year. And then also there's lots of food that goes to the Roxbury dinners. So we volunteer, it's all run by volunteers, except for small staff. And so $400 from Northfield is very much welcome. Thank you, voters.
And are there any questions for Nancy from the board? From virtual? From the audience? Thank you, Nancy. Article 20 is, shall the voters authorize the expenditure of $400 for the Friends of the Winooski River? Are the Friends of the Winooski River here today?
Somebody on.
Yes. Hi, Charlie.
Hi, Michelle.
I know. Michelle.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Lydia. Hi, John. Hi, Mary. It's really wonderful and inspiring to hear all these groups doing such good work in Northfield. And I didn't prepare a presentation with a lot of statistics and so forth, but we are doing a lot of work in Northfield and we love working there. And the $400 is the same request we've made of Northfield for quite some years, which helps with our operating costs so that we can do the work to, we leverage those funds to bring in grant funds to do the kind of projects that we're doing now. And I would love if Mary would say a word about the work that we're doing. And not to put you on the spot, Mary, you don't have to, but.
So I'm being asked, I think, because I have been chairing the meetings of the River Path, the River Walk people who are putting together a river walk if the Cross Brothers Dam gets removed. So we have other paths, parts of the path that would take you on a nice walk from the Dog River Park, and it would take you along the path of the river behind the
Green Mountain Apartments.
yeah, thank you, behind Green Mountain Apartments, and further around the corner there. Then you have to walk up and through town, then you pick it up again right by Dollar General. And one of the fun things that happened this year was that we asked Dollar General if they would give us that piece of land so our river path would not be in the flood zone. And so he said, oh, please, give us a piece of land. And they said, no, we'll give it to you. They wouldn't sell it, they'd give it to us. And all we had to do was, that transfer costs. So, we were very lucky that way. And, if you all hold your tongue straight, we'll get the money and the, Cross Brothers Dam will be removed. And then the first part of the proposed path will happen on the track that those big trucks make, carrying the debris in and out. So there you go. Is that what you want to be? I want to also say that Friends of the Winooski has a grant that involves Northfield, Winooski, and Barry. And intermittently throughout the year, representatives of projects from those 3 towns have met together to talk about what they're doing and what they could do. Now that sounds really dorky, but when you get in it, it's really helpful because they have contracted with consultants who know how to facilitate group processes in such a way that all of us are actually better than we think we are. I have appreciated that a lot. And
Wonderful.
one of the things that we did here in this town is they came to us and they facilitated so that all of these wonderful groups that we have here, like the Town Forest Stewardship Committee and the conservation, all these really bright people that we kind of tend to get into silos. So this puts us all together and we start interacting on each other's projects and talking about what each other is doing. That also was very, very helpful. So that's it, Michelle, that's all I know to say.
Michelle.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Mary. And I'm happy to answer questions if they're out there.
Michelle, Steve McKenzie, it's been a while, but we worked together before.
Hi, Steve.
Hi, I'm the newbie in town, but is Friends the project manager for the Cross Brothers Dam removal?
We are not. That is the Vermont Natural Resources Council. But we're pretty well informed, I think, and it is expected to come out next year, I believe, last I heard. There keep being wrinkles in the process, but.
One of the things that we found out, I mean, the things you learn. So one of the things we learned is that you can't do it when the owls are nesting, and you can't do it. The bats are nesting, and you can't do it when I knew it was a little critter, and you can't do it when the trout are spawning. So you have to just have this little window, which is about 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
During spring thaw, because there's too
No.
much.
It's August 15th to September 30th.
Yeah, 6 weeks.
So we look forward to getting that done. Are there any other questions from Michelle Braun? There are none. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Article 21, shall the voters authorize the expenditures of $300 for Green Up Vermont? I don't expect Green Up Vermont to be here, but everybody knows that we get green bags and we go around and we pick up Vermont and Northfield. And that money also assists in paying for the disposal of all those green bags that we pick up. Are there any questions about Green Up Day Vermont? Is there anybody from Green Up Day Vermont? I expected not. Shall the vote?
A lot of people who have done it.
We all.
I see a lot of heads going up and down, up and up.
I wonder what the biggest thing is. We ought to have a contest for the biggest, no, we don't want to have a contest, but have it, I mean, I brought a snow machine in out of Little Northfield Road. Didn't have an engine, but the rest was there. Anyway. Shall the voters authorize the expenditure of $250 for Our House of Central Vermont? Is Our House for Central Vermont present and represented? One of those other things that's in the town report, I'm sorry to say. And Article 23, shall the town Northfield collect property taxes in 4 installments, which will be due on August 21st, November 13th, February 12th, and May 14th. That's simple enough, and that concludes the hearing. If there's no other questions from the board, that concludes the hearing, and we will go into the regularly scheduled meeting, select board meeting of February 24th. So the first one is the Mary Nathan Scott Rare Disease Day is Saturday, February 28th, 2026. Hey, Mary.
I forget, where do I
Just come forward a little bit
Wherever
more
you need to be
and
comfortable.
turn around and look at them, then.
Is there something else you need?
You're an expert.
Apparently you got some talent with it.
I have enough buttons for everybody.
Oh, we all have buttons.
Yeah.
Last year we got wristbands. I still have mine.
Last year we got what?
Wristbands.
Oh, yeah. And I have more of those too. Kaylin, my lovely assistant, goes out.
You got one? There.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think there's anybody that can hold a candle to you for branding, Mary. You know how to brand stuff.
My apologies if not everybody can hear me. I'm not a very good projector. They've been printed out, but I want to say to remember to slow down and enunciate because I'm bad at that too. Rare is not rare. According to the National Organization for Rare Disorders, there are more than 10,000 known rare diseases. Out of every 10 Americans is living with a rare disease. Worldwide, there are more than 300 million people with rare diseases. Too often, these individuals and families are left feeling isolated and without answers to their medical questions. It doesn't have to be that way. Rare Disease Day is a global initiative to raise awareness and generate support for everyone who is on a rare medical journey. It takes place on the last day of February, which this year is February 28th. The zebra, this guy, is the official mascot for rare disease patients. Historically, medical professionals were told that when they hear hoofbeats, they should not expect to see a zebra. In other words, look for the more common answer, a horse. Now we know that 1 in 10 Americans is actually a zebra. It might not be obvious when you look at us, which is why we show our stripes to raise awareness. Wearing stripes can start a conversation that helps others learn about the problem and challenges of rare diseases. Alone, we are rare, but together we are strong. And it takes a village. I invite you all, both select board members and my Northfield community at large, to wear stripes or these buttons because they have stripes on them on the 28th, which is a Saturday, to spread awareness of rare diseases and the impacts of those affected directly as patients and indirectly as family members and caregivers. And before I sign off and say thank you, I want to bring last year's proclamation. I don't have this year's because when I go to the governor's office on Thursday to sign this year's, but I have last year's proclamation where the governor and I have collaborated for the past 7 years, I think, to make or to proclaim Rare Disease Day as in Vermont on the 20th. So yeah. And then taking off my Rare Disease Day hat before I step down, I wanted to say that that these are in their pack, but for the people in the audience, I do have some flyers for the cabin people already all put by the door. But so thank you for letting me talk and wear stripes and pass out buttons.
Mary, you started this whole thing off saying that you don't project well. You did a really good job. I heard every word you said. Well done. So you want me to read this last year's
Please. If you have the time, it's good.
State of Vermont Executive Department, a proclamation, whereas there are nearly 10,000 diseases and conditions considered rare, each affecting fewer than 200,000 Americans in the United States, according to the National Institutes of Health. And whereas, while each of these diseases may affect small numbers of people, rare diseases as a group affect almost 30 million Americans. All right, I can't do it.
Whereas many rare diseases are serious and debilitating conditions that have a significant impact on the lives of those affected. And whereas while more than 450 drugs and biologics have been approved for the treatment of rare diseases, according to the Food and Drug Administration, millions of Americans still have rare diseases for which there are no approved treatments. And want to be the next one? I'm right there, and where is it? Right there.
And while the public is familiar with some rare diseases, many patients and families affected by less widely known rare diseases bear a large share of the burden of funding research and raising the public awareness to support the search for treatment. And residents of Vermont among those affected by rare diseases, because nearly 10% of Americans have rare diseases, and the National Organization of Rare Disorders is organizing a nationwide observance of Rare Disease Day on February 28th, 2026. Now therefore, I, Philip B. Scott, Governor, proclaim the 28th day of February 2026 as Rare Disease Day in Vermont. Given under my hand and the Great Seal of the State of Vermont on this 27th day of February, AD 2026.
Thank you, John. Stripes, where are you gonna be on the 28th?
What's that?
Where are you going to be on the 28th?
I'm gonna be at home wearing stripes.
Okay. So there'll be a parade on Winchell in stripes. There you go.
There we go. Thank you,
See you,
guys.
sweets.
See you, Mary.
I really like in that sweater that you're feeling.
She's got her stripes on. All right. I think I got my composure back. The next item on the public participation is Karen Boyce, the Veterans Place of fundraising request. Thank you. This is Karen Boyce.
Sorry. Perfect.
Oh, I didn't realize that all that back there was a contingent for.
That's our fan club.
We'll take a short little recess while the supporters of rare disease exit the building. You know. You never know. I don't mind. Known her for a long, long time.
I might as well introduce the Norwich women's wrestling team. I wondered. Thank you.
I knew it was an inside job.
Thank you, ladies, for coming down here.
Barry's a big fan of the wrestlers, and the wrestlers are a very big fan of me.
Very good.
Choose wisely. Team Norwich.
And congratulations, they just were appointed varsity.
Oh, is that right? Bravo.
Trying for that for a long time.
All right, thank you very much, folks. All right, again, we're back into our regular meeting. Karen Boyce from the Veterans Home Place.
Yes, well, I am the retired managing director of the Veterans Place, but I still support the program and the staff there. And I also help with fundraising, because fundraising is a huge part of what keeps Veterans Place running. For those of you, is everybody familiar with the Veterans Place? So the VA does pay the Veterans Place a per diem per bed night for the veteran to be in the program. But that money that is the annual money that we get from the VA only covers the salaries of the 6 full-time employees that are there. So all of the other things that we provide for the veteran at no cost to them we have to get grants, donations, and do fundraising in order to raise that money, because, the veteran comes into the program and they have their own room. They have brand new bedding and towels and washcloths, personal hygiene products, that are provided for them. And then they have access to food 24/7. Of course, all the heat and hot water and electricity, all of that's provided. But we have a huge clothing donation room. We buy the laundry detergent. There's 2 commercial washers and dryers for them to do their laundry. They have to do their own laundry, because I told them there's no laundry fairy to do that. And then, when the veteran gets ready to move out, we also have a huge donation room that is full of brand new items that they can go down and pick out for their new apartments. If they need help with furniture and stuff, we reach out to the community and, or, you know, they get stuff from family and stuff too. So, all their rides to the VA are provided. So sometimes we're at the VA, at least once a day, sometimes twice a day. And then we might have somebody that needs to go to the Burlington, CBOC, because that's where their providers are. They get rides to go shopping, to go to job interviews. So all of that is provided for them at no cost, which the total, I think, from last year was over $600,000 that to run the program. So it's a lot, and probably 60% of it comes from the VA. So the fundraising is a huge piece, and so I have 2 fundraisers that I want to do this spring. One is in April 11th, we would like to do the Walking Bob 5K walk. For those of you that don't know Bob Davis, he was actually born in the Mayo Hospital when it was a hospital in 1936. He's going to be 87 on April 14th. He's never had a driver's license. He's always walked. He's one of our permanent residents. He lives at the Veterans Place. He's lived with us for, I think, going on 13 years now. So I would like to do that walk for him to honor him. So we're, and I've talked to the town's police officer, the chief, and he's all on board with it, and said if there's anything that we need from them, that they're willing to help. What we would like to do is to start it on the common, and I don't know if I have to get the town's permission to do that. Probably all the pre-registration would happen, but people would have to come to check in and get their t-shirt, and then we'll schedule a walk that would be not in the street, but on sidewalks, and it would be not in town, but off side streets. And we start at the common, we'll do a 5K route that would end at the Veterans Place, and there we would have handout information for people that want, and or if they want to tour the building and stuff to see it.
What date was that again?
What's that?
What was the date of that event?
It's Saturday, April 11th. So.
I'm sorry, what's the name of the event again?
Saturday, April 11th.
No, the name of the event.
It's gonna be called Walking Bob 5K.
Walking Bob.
Yes, it's a walk, it's not a run, it's not a race, it's just meant to. So, and we're gonna have Norwich University students that will also be helping with that to, crowd control and just safety wise, and I'm gonna get, they all have the vests and stuff that they can wear, so. And then Good Measure is gonna donate water for along the way too, so that we know so far. So do I need the town's approval to do that on the common?
Or just go through the manager
I
or?
don't think so.
I think it would be wise for the purpose of just traffic flow is to let the police finalize what they're doing when you know the numbers and pass it to the chain of command, just so it can be something. If a lesson is learned from that, we will have what the plan was, and then we can learn a lesson. But I think some kind of document routed through the safety folks would be good. I mean, ambulance may want.
ambulance.
No, the new chief said he was gonna contact them and let them know,
Okay.
just so they would be aware if, just in case something happened that.
Yeah, so whenever an event like that happens, it's a good idea to bring the municipality, at least keep the municipality informed. Dave, Lee, John, any questions?
Or any other suggestions, anything I've missed as far as, because this is my first time organizing something like this, but I do have, the cadet that did he was in charge of the Legacy March, this last year. And I've worked with the Legacy March since they started doing that. Actually walked it. The year I turned 60, I did the 50 miles. There were some of those 18 and 19-year-olds that didn't finish it, but I did.
Looks to be deceived.
Yeah, so if there's anything that I overlooked, just let me know. The other fundraiser, might be a little more controversial, I've heard, but, on May 2nd, which is Green Up Day, it's also the 4th annual bottle drive for the Veterans Place that we've been doing at Kenyon's. This will be like I said, the 4th year. Last year, the mountain of cans and bottles that we returned, we raised over $3,000. And Timmy Martin has offered again to do the redemption for that. And I told him that I would come and help with the counting and the sorting, because I'm retired now, I have the time to be able to do that, because he had it took over a week of manpower for him to do all the counting, for all the cans and bottles. So, for any of you that have cans and recyclables, if you save them until Green Up Day and want to bring them down to Kenyon, they'll go to a good cause. So it's also Norwich's graduation. So what I would like to do from 8:30 to 10 o'clock is a coin drop at each end of the town for the Veterans Place, so that if it ran from 8:30 to 10 o'clock, then the bottle drive starts at 10 o'clock down at Kenyon's. Graduation starts at 10, so then the traffic lightens up.
Dave, any questions?
I was wondering what the controversy was about with bottle drop.
Yeah, there was nothing with the bottle drive, that one's gone over really, really well, but the coin drop, it's just, that would just add to the funds that we raise that day. Plus, we have veterans that are out doing green up, so.
So what is our position been on coin drops? Do you remember? Lydia?
Labor Day, I think, has a coin drop.
Has had it in the past.
Has had it in the past.
I recollect us saying no to somebody.
We have declined on coin drops, and I don't remember the organization, but we have poo-pooed the idea previously.
Yeah. I have some concerns just about the traffic.
That's right.
Because
Well, it's already got, I mean, because it was in it last year.
Yeah.
It's already slow, and I did talk to the police chief about that too.
yeah,
And I know there's a police presence down by 12 and 12A, which is where I thought we would be.
Yeah.
Because it goes slow while it's going into the campus.
Yeah.
And then if we were down at Tops on the other end, for the traffic coming that way.
yeah, that side
So.
seems less, I mean, just anything that slows it further, because I don't know if last year was worse than sometimes, but I saw people like desperately jumping out of their cars and running and panicking. So anything that could further slow or heed that process from happening. Not
For the
sure.
graduation, you mean, to get to graduation?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to, come from Massachusetts on a timely basis.
Yeah.
You know, you think it's gonna take 3 hours and, well, my goodness, the state troopers pulled you over.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what, we did turn one group down.
Yeah.
I
If you
think
need time to think about it too, because it's not till May 2nd, I'm
I think-
okay with
I
that.
think it was in coordination with the sock sale, that, as I recall, but maybe I was
Could
wrong.
have been.
I would be very concerned about the south end of town, it getting clogged up. It gets clogged up already, as you know. You
That's what I
said you were in
thought.
it last year, what do you mean by that?
Well, because we were trying to get to Roxbury with the trailer full of cans for the first run. And it took a while to just leaving town.
Yeah.
While people were coming in. I thought it would be a good time because they're already going slow to do it. But I didn't think it would hold them up, but like I said, I'm
Have you bounced this idea off Norwich University?
not yet, no.
Well, I would talk to them.
Yeah.
And get their input, and then come back and see us, but
Okay,
I would be kind of
Yeah.
reluctant, to be honest with you.
yeah, so.
Well, it's not on the agenda for that tonight. So, we are going to have that discussion on whether you get a letter of approval or a denial from it'll come through the manager, I'm sure.
Yep.
So you'll be in touch.
I would say go see Norwich and then come back and see us, and
Okay.
make a request to the manager.
That might be your best bet, but you figure that out. I mean, if you walked 15 miles and 20-year-olds didn't, you probably get some power.
It was 50.
50.
50
From
miles.
Norwich,
50,
Vermont,
not-
to
no cutter
Northfield,
short.
Vermont.
Yeah,
And I'll expect you to have a rucksack on next spring.
I've been there, done that.
it was done in 2.5 days, but the last day my feet wouldn't fit in my shoes. I did the last 19 miles in my flip flops.
What?
Right.
Yep.
Thank you, Karen.
Lydia,
Thank
do you have any questions? John?
No, I think we got a solution.
Okay,
All right.
Mary?
I'll talk to-
Yeah, we'll wait to hear the update.
Okay.
so if I count my cans, does that save you guys time, or are you gonna recount them anyway?
We have to recount them anyways,
Okay,
so, because Timmy has to sort them and put them in the bags.
It's unbelievable.
right. And you get $3,000 from
From 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock.
You should have seen the file.
You did see the file, didn't you?
5 cents a can.
No, Timmy gives us 6. Because he gets 7 cents being
Roxbury.
yeah, so he gives us 6 cents.
Wow.
Have you ever been down to that Metropolis store he has down there in Roxbury?
You do get a favorable response from the university. It's probably most helpful to just get that in writing.
Okay.
Rather than just bring it to me.
Okay.
If it looks like the request is going to go forward, just help the board.
Okay.
Yes, it would help a lot, thank you.
All right, I will do. Thank you very much.
Anybody from the virtual world or from the audience? Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
Moving on, Liquor Control Commission is item 5, liquor license renewal for Tops Market. Do I have a motion to approve the liquor license renewal for Tops Market?
So moved.
Second. Motion has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? And now, hearing none, all in favor of approving the liquor license renewal for Tops Market, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
The liquor license renewal has been approved. February 10th minutes. Do I have a motion to approve February 10th minutes, regular meeting?
So moved.
Second. Is there any discussion?
I have one correction. Oh, let's see.
Nope. I wasn't there, so.
Page 2, in the first paragraph with the David Mears and the NCC, it's like halfway down, it says, Mr. Delasola said the working group first reviewed the town forest stewardship plan. And I believe the plan he referenced was the town forest access feasibility study.
Any other discussion?
Not for me.
I'm good.
All right, all in favor of approving the February 10th regular meetings, indicate by, with correction. Indicate by saying aye.
I will abstain.
The will abstain. All right, so next is approval of the bills. Approval for warrant 1626 A through F for a total of $344,260.47.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
I have nothing. I don't have anything either.
That's the reason we're here. You have the stage.
On page 5, and this is a question of educate me. On page 5, under uniforms, there's, stuff about guns. And we trade in 6 guns and we bought 4 new ones. Is that what that says? Looks like.
Yes. That's what it says.
Why do we do that?
There you go. Why do you trade them in?
Yeah, do they wear out?
They could get damaged, so they certainly, if they presume they get a
Sure,
lot
because
of.
they practice firing at the firing range.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's a life cycle upgrade or not. I mean, I could find out. I don't know.
I just need to be educated.
Yeah.
I have no idea what this is about, so that's why I asked those questions, you know.
Well, depending on the select board's pleasure, you can approve that, but I can, hold Kevin and report back to the board.
That would be good enough for me. I don't wanna withhold anything, I just wanna find out what the heck that is.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving warrant 1626 A through F for an amount of $344,260.47, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, the warrant is approved. And then we have the receipt of the bi-weekly payroll through February 15th for a total of $100,651.23. Do I have a motion to approve the receipt of the payroll?
So moved.
Second. Is there any objections or is there any discussion? Are there any objections or abstentions? The receipt of payroll has been passed. All right, the next thing is appointment of the health officer and deputy health officer. We have a reappointment for the zoning administrator. Mitch is going to maintain the health officer, and in the interim, the deputy health officer will be the interim manager. Are there any other discussion?
I have a question.
Yes.
So, this paper about the health officer says that if the municipality, we had to fill out a form. And then I saw an email, Jim was filling out that form and he had some questions. Did he get his answers to his questions?
Jim.
Different, very different topic.
Was it a different topic?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
that has to do with the sewer plant.
Okay.
All right, all in favor of reappointing the zoning administrator as the health officer and appointing the interim manager as the deputy health officer, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any objections or abstentions?
Is there a
Hearing
motion?
none. Welcome to your new.
Oh, yeah.
employee. And there is no
I don't
pay
think
raise. Pay
really
raise.
had a
I'll make the motion.
There wasn't a motion.
I'll make the motion.
All right,
That we appoint the interim zoning administrator, no, the zoning administrator as the health officer and the interim town manager as the deputy.
thank you.
And now vote is already.
Right, and so without objection, that is. Okey dokey. Town managers report.
Approval of the grand list certificate.
Oh, sorry. My bad. You're not supposed to you're not to let me do that, Steve. You're supposed to head me if I start jumping the agenda.
Don't worry, we,
Well, you guys.
Didn't cut to it.
Approval of grand list certificate of no appeal or suit pending. This is a routine annual form. Do we have a motion to approve? Second. Any objections or any discussion? All in favor of approving the certificate that there is no appeal or suit pending for the listers, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And is this copy for sign or did you have a signature? That's, I think it's fine. No, it is. That's the original. All right, so town manager's report.
So I'm not really sure how you'd like me to proceed. I mean, my first question would be, what your thoughts are about the reports I provide? Are they what you're thinking I should provide?
Whatever you want to share to the community is beyond that. I mean, it is a public document that we have.
Yeah, I mean, I could sit here for 10 minutes and read it, but I think my general report is that I just really trying to work hard to keep things moving. We're dealing with a lot of different issues, some litigation, and some negotiations. We have personnel issues we're working on. You see the police chief's report, but I'm very pleased and proud with the work that Kevin's doing down at the police station in terms of just helping reestablish the department, if you will. And I think for the most part, the facilities are backed up to where they should be. Maintenance has either been taken care of or is scheduled to be taken care of, and frankly, it was quite a bit. The building is now secure. Access is secure. The interior cameras are now have been replaced and are now working on a new system. So I think great strides at the police department. Continuing to work with Carl on salt shed. That's a project that needs to be addressed, and just it could be a sizable one, but we're developing. We're proceeding to develop something to bring back to the board. It may be a couple months if we want it. Just responding to a number of resident requests for service, and I think have been successful in most cases. And just working hard to just provide timely responses. And my goal is to, if I can't get back to somebody in the same day, get back within 24 hours. And we've taken care of some resident requests, cleaning the lights, the traffic lights, which.
Yeah, that's the only thing I was gonna say, maybe you should be public statement.
Well, yeah, well,
So where we're at with the public, with the lights.
Yeah, well, so, I had received a request from a lady who said she'd been trying to get the lights cleaned for 3 years. And I said, let's see, that can't be that hard. And so actually it's a chance to give a shout out to Snapping Turtle Tree Service, because I reached out to them and they voluntarily said, sure, we can provide you a bucket truck, because I assumed the town had one, but we don't. And so they provided a bucket truck. We had to wait until they got their winter maintenance done, coordinated with them and police chief. They went up and cleaned them, but, the issue isn't so much that they were dirty as I think that they're old. And I'm now in the process of trying to prepare a request for a proposal to get those lights replaced. We have $47,000 in the budget. I don't know if that's enough or not. We'll see.
I don't think it is, Steve.
Yeah, I don't think so either, because I don't know how old that number is, but, we won't know until we request proposals and we go from there. But that's something that I don't know if I'll see that through to the end, but I'd like to get it started so it's in place and it's scheduled to get done this summer.
It's been an issue for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Can you give us an idea, without naming names or anything, can you give us an idea? I'm curious, what kind of resident requests do you get?
Mailbox dings after winter storms are very common. Request for the traffic light. Received a request to put up I'd say a blind turn on 12A out of town. I still have to work that one. I got a call. Today's what? Tuesday. The storm was over the weekend. I got a call Monday from a lady up on Union Brook Road who said, in so many words, I got this giant snowball in my driveway. I don't know where it came from. I can only think it came from the town plow. And so I said, I'll reach out to Carl and have him come up. Well, I actually drove up to take a look because I had to go up there anyways. I did, and sure enough, there's this big snowball in the middle of the driveway. It looked like somebody started a snowman, but stopped. And Carl said, no, they were winging back the snowbanks. It must have rolled in, and Carl went up or had one of the fellows go up and just plow it out of the way. So within a day, we took care of her, and she was concerned because they weren't able to deal with it. But it raised the whole gamut of stuff, and most of them are not that great, and I think people appreciate. I sense the same thing here and I sensed that when I was in Barry. That a lot of times people are either surprised or pleased to be able to get through to the manager and talk to the manager and even get a response. So that's why I try hard to do it, is be responsive, and I think that every positive response you make is probably a positive order.
Oh, yeah, and it also gets amplified about 5 times.
Yeah. So and if it's negative, then it responds after twice, 10 times.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So this is kind of the life of the movie.
Is it better or worse or about the same as better?
It's different. It's different.
It's different.
I mean, there are a lot of similarities, and of course each community has its own unique characteristics. But a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
And as I said when we talked a long time ago, a lot of it is just dealing with the public and trying to be responsive.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So on that note, Steve just asked, what does the board want to see and make public for the manager's report? It used to be that we would receive the manager's report and then that would be read to the public. And I'm happy to read that. I was just here to try to get a sense of pulse of what.
So you want my opinion? I think this is a public document. I think major items that are maybe within the report, like the signal light or other major things that affect a wide swath.
Sure.
You should touch base on from time to time.
Yeah, okay.
It is available online.
Yeah, and as we say, it's making it
Put
into,
up on it.
it's making it into the packet, so it will be available to people if they want to review the whole thing.
As soon as I get it, I rescan the documents and put it
Thanks,
online.
Ken.
And there's always 2 days after the report's made and something happens when you come into work on Monday and you gotta update. But there you have it. Thank you, town manager. Board members, comments, concerns, or questions? Mr. Maxwell.
Well, Charlie, this is your last meeting
No, actually, I've got
as the chair of the select board.
Thank you.
So don't try to correct me. I'm trying to give you a compliment.
I don't take them well.
I know you do. Shut up. So I want to thank you for your service to the country and to this town over the years. And we may not see eye to eye a lot of times, but I have developed a very good friendship with you. And I hope we continue that. And I thank you, sir.
You'll be able to continue that relationship with the Mediterranean.
Well, I will not be there.
Thanks,
So-
Dave.
Thanks, Charlie. And one more shout out to the town crew who tends to get the wrath of God when snowstorms appear and sidewalks aren't plowed on a timely basis and all that good stuff. Just a shout out to them.
And they've been operating shorthanded here periodically, so, it's been tougher on them
And I hear, and I see we have some assistance, so that's good. Thank you.
Yeah, I also wanted to thank you, Charlie. for
You're welcome,
your service. It's hard work.
And just like Dave, we don't always see eye to eye.
No, but I appreciate, I mean, it's really important to be able to have a civil disagreement. Appreciate that about this whole board, appreciate that about you, Charlie. I appreciate that you own it when you make a mistake and you apologize, and your service is very, I'm gonna get all chokey uppy too. All right, thank you, Charlie.
That must be part of the season.
It is, yeah.
John, leave me out of it. What do you gotta say?
No, I have one more thing.
Oh.
Another compliment to the town. I heard from some youth in our community that it was really special to have Officer Goslin and Chief Moulton attend Spirit Week at the school. And I'm just so excited that, having, continued relations with the children in our community and feeling connected to our police officers and having them be silly and.
reached out on many fronts. I mean, really just trying to restore good public relations.
Yeah,
Super job.
I'm hearing good stuff, so.
I think that was great.
I'll pass it on.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I think all has been done by Steve and Charlie. Really helped.
I
You
have been kind of a dynamic too.
Yeah. I want to compliment you for doing so. I have a question on your manager's report.
Sure.
Yeah. On item 6. It says the Bean Industrial Park. 3 acres stormwater project.
Oh, that's my,
That's 3.5 acres?
It's the Green Industrial Park, 3-acre stormwater project. That's a requirement by the state, for any, property owners who have, more than 3 acres of impermeable surface, have to install stormwater treatment, systems. And, we had a, grant coordination meeting last week. The folks from the state, and this is, I think the project is somewhat in limbo, but they're trying to get it restarted so that work is completed this summer. I think it has to be completed by August 30th. And there have been some preliminary plans established. Now they have to be finalized. We'll probably get an amendment from the consultant to prepare final plans for that. But the intent is to get that stormwater project done before the end of the summer.
Okay. So it's not tough down there at the Van Town level. Some question about that.
I actually think it is darn tough.
Yeah, but isn't it the property up?
It's in the Bean Industrial Park.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not the name.
Yeah, and I'm not sure I appreciate this.
I think what you may be referring to, I'm trying to remember, there was multiple issues at the Montana mill, was the hydroelectric dam, was that possibly what you were thinking?
That's right.
The antenna is the one with the tall chimney.
Yeah, okay, it's right down on North Main Street.
Right.
Yeah.
So the antenna doesn't have three impermeable acres. The Darn Tough with their facility and parking lot does. So this is capturing the stormwater runoff at the manufacturing facility, not the storage facility.
On Whetstone Drive.
Thank you, remember Whetstone.
Yeah. And I remember the former manager was going through the same
Right.
issues.
That's all I got, thank you.
I think the townspeople would like to know that the salt inventory has been replenished.
Yeah, so it seems like with the passing of the storms that we've had, deliveries, well, at least from Carl's standpoint, he's got a full salt shed, as small as it is, it's full. So he's comfortable now. We got a storm coming, I think, midweek, well, tomorrow. But I think it should be okay, and sand inventory is okay as well now. And, that's why it's critical to do something with salt shed, because his ability to store it is limited, and when you get deeper into the winter, there's so much demand for salt, depending on conditions and so on, that deliveries are not guaranteed. You can have the orders placed, but they don't. State V-Trans seems to take very little.
The other question that I had is totally different. And that is about the generators. The generators were inspected.
Yes, and as a result of that, I think the main issues were two issues. One is installing a roof rack on the fire station to prevent the snow from dumping down onto the generator, and I'm reaching out to get a roofing contractor, just put those up. That's not, shouldn't be a big deal. And then the other is the installation of bollards in a number of locations around.
Yeah, you can't do that until it's.
Well, no, right, that can't be done until Spain, and I've got to talk with Carl. I think it's work that Carl's crew does and can do and has done. Quite honestly, I think we ought to put at least one, if not two bollards at the corner of the municipal building. That little stub that's there now won't stop a fly.
Yeah.
So we need to put which weren't included in that report, but it's just an observation I made, because I come in, I make that corner every day. And if you miss it, that little, my truck, I'll go right over that thing, and most cars probably will too. So a couple of bottom balls to that corner.
So that's the generator. The third thing I needed to know is, what's the story on Union Brook Road?
Oh, well, it's just a continuing saga, and whether I just met so many meetings in so little time. Yesterday had a conference with Nick Leddy, Kevin Molden, Mitch Shosecki. And I think the bottom line is, if it were easy, it would be done by now. It's not, and it's complicated, and still trying to figure out whether the way to deal with it is through ordinance or whatever. And I have a plan that I'm not going to share at this point in time for the proceeding, but it's on the to-do list. It's just one of those things that's taken an awful lot. It's taken an inordinate amount of time. It's just unfortunate.
Yeah,
I'd like to have a more positive report for you at the next board.
that would be good.
Be a busy meeting, you gotta reorganize. So, for me, I've noticed that the sun has been out, we've had some bright sunny days, which has melted the ice and melted the snow, and then at night it freezes. Now, this is not uncommon. but it's quite awake. I want everybody to be aware that whatever the conditions are, Mother Nature is gonna throw some stuff our way, and I want everybody to be safe because of those events. Yesterday, I happened to be able to pull two people out of driveways because of very similar circumstances. So I'm hoping to do that. Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure. I'll certainly do not plan on zooming in from the Adriatic Sea. I just don't see that happen.
Wait, now we're going from the Caribbean to Adriatic.
Well, that's the thing. It might be the Caribbean.
I thought it was the Mediterranean.
I'm hung up on Mediterranean, but no decisions have been made.
I had a comment based on your retirement, and I just want to say that I think you folks know, but I've known Charlie for 25 to 30 years, going back to the time that we did work on the wastewater treatment plant. But it was, I was pleased to see that Charlie was a member of the board when I was asked to come over here, and he has been more than helpful in my transition in. He's taken lead on a number of things just to get them done. And I've always enjoyed working with Charlie, and I certainly did now, and I guess I'd like to say thank you for helping make my transition.
We've got a couple projects that I'm still working on. It's
Yes.
just stuff that would be a time suck for him that I can get done. And then I'll give him the package without any opinions, and he can route it to you guys. But anyway, we're having fun.
But thank you very much, Joe.
All right, cool, dude. Thank you, guys. All right, next thing is public participation unscheduled. Anybody on the virtual side of things? Anybody from the audience? We are going to have Mary come up and speak.
I was just going to answer Mary's question about the guns, is that they were ordered back in September, and that they're moving to red dot sites, and so that improves accuracy, and that's why that was made, but it was made before Chief Holman came on.
Thank you.
Red dot sites. Things have changed since back in the day.
Laser sites?
Yeah.
Oh,
I would think so. Not exactly sure on
Yeah, okay.
We've got an executive session. I need to inform the attorney that's going to come up very quick. Seconds, do I have a motion to the select board find based on advice, counsel, premature general public knowledge of confidential attorney-client communications received from Northfield's counsel concerning a pending EEOC claim and union grievance involving an employee and made for the purpose of providing professional legal services to the town of Northfield would place the select board and Northfield at a substantial disadvantage. Do I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving motion number one? Indicate by saying aye. Motion number two, move that the select board need a motion that the select board go into executive session pursuant to 1 VSA subchapter 313A Alpha 1 Echo and Foxtrot to receive and consider professional legal advice in the form of confidential attorney communications provided by counsel to the town of Northfield concerning a pending employee EEOC claim and a union grievance with the interim town manager invited to attend. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
It used to be we'd be able to go, do I have a motion to go into executive session, and we would go into executive session, but obviously when you get charged by the hour, you put some more words in there that say some the same thing no longer way. All right, we'll take a short recess of 5 minutes, we'll say 10 minutes. Thank you very much. Go into executive session.